And the show begins. It's the World Show. Is my microphone going? Yeah, the bars are moving. The colors are green. The lightest trap is clean. Here we go. It's good morning from Los Angeles. Well, I'm not really in Los Angeles, but I'm in the Los Angeles time zone. It's 10 a.m. here in California. We're broadcasting 200 feet below occupied territory. Don't forget that. This is a bunker, and we're safe for now. No one's found us, but when they shut us off the air, you'll know they dug us up out of the ground and hung us up, so that's all it's going to be. But for now, we're okay. It's a world show. That means we're talking about world stuff. I got between the sheets. I'm supposed to read a couple things here, so let me do this. There's a birthday. Let's see. Michael Goss has a birthday. Happy birthday, Michael Goss. It doesn't say how old you are or how old you're not, so I'm not going to guess. Daniel, first time watching. Well, first time watching on YouTube, he says. That's a good thing. Daniel, if this is your first time, consider it like a first date. Just sit there and relax. I'll do all the work, I promise. Matt Johnson, just want to say you guys have some of the blank music, some of the bestie music. Thank you. Kiri, I'm just going to call Black Roses. Hello, handsome general. Thank you very much for that. Once I get 3 handsome generals, the show can begin. But until I do, we're kind of stuck in a holding pattern. Let me tell you something that's really important. And you're going to say, the first thing you're going to tell me is, General, this is not world news. This is not world news, but I beg to differ. Michael Jackson is world news. Wow, boy, look at all of you perking up now. You're looking over your cups of coffee. What did he say? I have heard nothing about Michael Jackson recently. What is this news he speaks of? That's right. Personal inside information. Stuff you don't know. Yeah. Can you imagine that? The stuff you have no idea about, none whatsoever. And yet here I am about to bring it to you fresh and brand new. And you're not going to hear this anywhere else because this was just for me. I'm going to share it with you now. I'm guessing by tomorrow, this will be news all over the world. I'm guessing within a 24-hour news cycle, you'll be hearing about this everywhere, but you can hear about it here first. That's right. If Gen X Talks is nothing, we are absolutely cutting edge in news. So I'm going to show you this. This is important here. And then we'll go back to we got other world news too, but I had to lead with this. If a Michael Jackson story comes up, how can you ignore it? How can you put it to the back page? How can you make it even second play? No. We can't do that. All right. So I was contacted by Michael Jackson personally. Now, I'm not sure if you guys can read that. I'll put it up on the screen. I'll read it for you. Michael Jackson, the channel is called The Real Michael Jackson 11111 on Instagram. He has 59 followers. Not 59 million, 59 followers. He has posted 417 posts. It says we don't follow each other. Okay. But I want to read you what he wrote me. It was a personal message from Michael Jackson. Hey, it's Michael Jackson. I'm messaging you from a private account. I'm not really dead. Can you cash app me $600 so I can come back to the United States and put out more music? Yes, Michael Jackson, you can. I will. Absolutely. $600 and Michael Jackson comes back. $600 and I can get Michael Jackson back here in the United States because he's not dead. If he was dead, how did he send me a message? Duh. So Michael Jackson's apparently back, alive. Everything's cool. He's been hanging out. I didn't really ask him what he's been doing up until now, but I think it's quite apparent that for the small price of $600, we could have Michael Jackson back at the Neverland Ranch. We could have Michael Jackson back in the United States, and he could be making music for us. I can't tell you how quickly I got out my checkbook and cash apped him some money. $600. I even sent it twice just in case he wanted to come over 2 times. I don't want him to leave. So I'm just letting you guys know that's front page news. Normally I would say don't believe everything you see, but believe this. It's about Michael Jackson. Who would lie and pretend to be Michael Jackson? I mean, there's nobody would sink that low. Nobody would do that. And you have to take into consideration the magnitude of what if it's real. What if it's real? I just want to start with that, let you guys know that Michael Jackson, he's on his way back. He got the money late yesterday, so I'm assuming he's on his way home today. You're welcome, America and Denmark, because the rest of the world's going to hear about it. As soon as he lands, he's going to be thanking us here at Gen X Talks and beginning his musical career again, all because I took the time out of my day to cash out Michael Jackson $600. You don't need to thank me. I just took care of it, okay? You don't need to thank me. It was my duty. You would have done the same had he contacted you, but he didn't. He contacted me. Okay. Oh, so where were we? Had some stuff. I made it through the whole thing with a straight face, man. Come on. I made it. Oh, if you're on Facebook or you're on YouTube and the platforms did not notify you that we were going on, or if you're watching this on a rerun, you're watching it late and you didn't get the notification to let you know that we were starting up our live program, join Patreon. The staff can put up the mods can put up the Patreon link right now. It's $1 and you get two things. You get an email about 30 minutes before we go live letting you know where we're going and what we're doing. Then you can decide if you want to show up or not. It's low pressure. The other thing is that we on Patreon we have 3 years of behind the scenes footage. Stuff that nobody else gets to see, not available to the public, can't see it anywhere else except on member sites. And this is one of them. You can go there for $1 and check out all the cool old shit. All right. So I want to say that I've been getting emails off and on. Well, I've been getting emails off and on for 3 years from you people. And it is always the same thing. Hang on. Little noise over here. Got to move R2-D2 around a little bit here. We'll just turn him off. Okay. R2 is off. You guys question whether the handsome general you see before you is an act. You guys question if I just grew the beard and I wear black shirts and I get like this and look at you, it's like, oh, he pretends to be a badass. Or if it's real. Maybe I've been one badass motherfucker my entire life. Or maybe this is all just a persona. This is all for show. This is just to get some likes and some clicks and get it. No. I have proof that my wife married a badass. I didn't know how to come across and say this. I didn't know how to state my case. I didn't know how to prove my point. And my mother sent a picture of me. I was probably 25 or so, and it's conclusive evidence to my badassery. And if that's not a word, it now is one, because as my son will always say, all words are made up, Dad. All words are made up. Well, then I made one up, although you've heard it before, but now we can put it in Webster's Dictionary. Not quite ready for primetime players, but it's good enough for the Webster's Dictionary. Anyway, so I just want to show you a picture of, I just want to conclusively get past whether this is an act or if I've always been this badass. All right. So let me just show you this right here. I think this is conclusive proof. This is physical evidence. And I think this, I'm saying right now that I think we get it. This is one of the reasons that my wife looked at me across a crowded party. That was a house party, and she saw this going on and went, oh my God, that's the man for me. I mean, I was flagrantly breaking rules, flaunting people to ask me to stop, begging for a fight over something as significant as this. And I handled myself and conducted myself in the proper manner, and that's the way I've been the whole time. So now that we've got evidence, can we move on? You're welcome, world. I got to show it now. I just don't want to fight anymore with you guys. You can stop the emails. You can stop the direct messages. It's over. There's proof. My mother sent it in. My mother wouldn't lie. She's a saint. And my wife, she remembers that picture. She's like, okay, all right. But that's how, guys, if you're young, that's how you catch a girl. That's how you hook a woman. That's how you get them interested. If you're a dork and you're a nerd and you like Star Trek and Star Wars, which is just silly, but if you're one of those guys and you want to get into the club, you want to jump that fence and be, you can look the part, but until you start behaving like it, like I just showed you, you're never going to get there from here. All right, just pass that along to you. That one was for free. I'm not even charging you for that stuff. Bum, 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 bum. So speaking of controversy, thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. The latest 2-minute drill that we put out is just doing really well. I mean, by our standards, it's not a viral video or anything, but I got a lot of good compliments on the structure on 2 minutes. Just tells you what one tiny aspect of divorce. What I mainly got from you guys is you want to hear more aspects of divorce. Well, I can't run them all together, but the only reason you guys got to see this one is Mrs. Forwatton. I don't know if she's in here today. Mrs. Forwatton she swings a big blue wrench as one one of our moderators in YouTube. She heard this. I showed it to her. She goes, no, you got to post it. You got to post it. We weren't going to because it didn't fit like politics and cultural, but thanks for making it a big deal for us. Yeah. So my country is very hypocritical. This was in the news. Calls for violence against Jews rock D.C. amid massive pro-Palestinian protest. They actually went out into the streets chanting and screaming to commit acts of violence against Jews, against Israel. But more importantly, against Jews. So it's not just over there. It's here. They're like, it's okay to beat up Jewish people. It's okay to commit violence. It's okay. When in my country, when did that become acceptable? When was it ever okay to single out anybody and say we need to go after them and kick the shit out of them? We need to gather them all up and we need to abuse them. We need to gather them all up. We need to chase them down and commit acts of violence against. And you could summarize it with any other group of people, and you'd be kicked. You'd be the one who got the shit kicked out of you. You couldn't say that about blacks or gays, LGBTQ. You couldn't do it. You could never single out. You couldn't say, Asian people. You couldn't say. You can't do it. You can't. But why is it okay for them to do that and just be open about it, right on the news, right out in the open? Hey, we're gonna kick the shit out of Jews. Why is that okay? You couldn't do that with anything at any time in my country ever without you. One person couldn't say it. And they've got 100,000 people screaming it. And all of a sudden it's acceptable. Well, they have feelings on the matter. They have very strong feelings about the Jewish community. We don't want to, we're not getting into the middle of their squabble. They just got feelings. So death to Jews. Well, we don't agree with that. But, hey, it's kind of a big controversy. Can you imagine if someone did that about gays or LGBTQ and say, well, death to all of them? And you say, no, you can't. Well, we don't want that, of course. But you don't know what some people very, very strongly about the LGBTQ community. You couldn't say that. Why is it okay to say that about the Jewish community? Why is that permissible? Why is that just, well, it's news. Let's just report in the news. I pass no judgment. I don't get it. You couldn't do that anywhere else, but in my country, that's how hypocritical. Because let's be fair. If you guys want the real answer, I'll give it to you. It's not rocket science. The fringe left, the progressive left, the outskirts of limits of the Democratic Party, that fringe left, they do this, and the media backs them up because it's a liberal media. I hate to say, you guys, there's other countries. Some of you guys live in countries where there is state-sponsored news, state-sponsored media. We don't live in one of those countries. We don't have states, but it's almost. There's just no handshake. You don't have to have, this is a key phrase throughout a lot of things, you don't have to have a formal agreement to have a conspiracy. Did you hear what I just said? You don't have to have a formal agreement to have a conspiracy. Now, you guys want to pretend that we didn't land on the moon. That's going to need a bunch of people sitting down in a room, coordinating some bullshit, shaking hands, and working out a structure to say we didn't land on the moon. You want to do that about flat Earth? You're going to have all these people are going to have to come together and can coordinate because it's just completely ridiculous. But you don't have anybody coming together in a room. All the media organizations don't meet once a year and say, okay, this is how we're going to handle it. This is what we're going to do. They quietly just pass around articles and pass around catchphrases and pass around sayings, and they all just use them. It's as close as you're going to get to state-run media. I was watching Jesse Waters one time on Fox News. I dig him. He's a lot of fun to watch. And he was explaining something to his mother about Hunter Biden's laptop. And she says, you're making that up. There's no such thing as Hunter Biden's laptop. Are you listening to what I'm telling? Because she only watches MSNBC. It's the only channel she watches. She doesn't even watch Fox News, which is what Jesse's on. She watches MSNBC. They played it so little, she never even saw it. the couple of things she did here was that it was made up. And all of a sudden it dawned on me, how many people just walk out there? How many people are so ignorant they just go, well, I don't watch Fox News. They're one-sided. I'm going to watch CNN. Oh, because they're not. If you're smart, you watch all of them so you can begin to see different. I do. I watch CNN. I watch MSNBC. I watch ABC. I watch Fox News. I take glimpses of all of it to try to see the differences in the story. That's what I do. But his mother was watching one program that is so one-sided she didn't even know that the Hunter Biden laptop was a real thing and really even existed. Welcome to America and the news. If you just pick one channel, you're not going to get the news. You're going to get absolutely 100% state-run media. Well, there's a few channels you can, but I'm just letting you guys know. It's a real thing. So, yeah, I was frustrated about that. Where was I? Don't know. Yeah, so again, they're not even going to show all this stuff on regular news. They're going to skim over it. So I want to be lighthearted for a moment, if I can, if I please. I want to show you guys something in the World Show because I showed this in Bottom of the Glass Nation. We were all drinking. We're all drinking one night, and I showed a picture of something, and it took everybody. And remember, we were broadcasting on 2 Facebook pages, a Rumble page, and YouTube. I showed this picture, and it took everybody about 11 minutes to figure out what this picture was. So I thought, okay, maybe this picture is not from the United States. Maybe this is from something from Europe. I'm not giving away prizes here. I'm not asking you. But in the comment section, if you know what this is, just tell me, because it'll make me feel better that you guys are smarter than us. You guys are in touch. This is an ancient history, man. It's something like 30 years ago. All right, let me show you. It's real quick, and then we can move back on. But I showed that picture, and nobody knew what those things in the corner of the stairs were or what they were for. I don't think we ever got the exact name of it, but nobody knew what they were for. And I thought, okay, when it took everybody so long, I thought, oh, maybe this is a French thing. Maybe it's an English thing, or maybe it's just a European thing. All of a sudden I began questioning, going, well, I don't know where the picture came from. It didn't have a tag on it that says this is from San Diego or Houston, Texas. Maybe it wasn't even from here. So I'll look right here. I'll get off there. Dum, 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 dum. So there's a Bonnie and Clyde Miller to keep dust out of the corners. Yeah. There's another one, Becca, keeping the corners clean. You see that? How come it took you guys like 30 seconds to a minute? Took everybody that night and Bottom of the Glass. Well, maybe it was because we were all drinking. It could have been it. But that was I just want to pass that along to you guys, that was an issue, and it was silly and it was funny. All right. So one of the things I want to talk to you guys about, I know we're talking a bunch of shit about my country still, but I got some things I want to poke fun at your countries for too, because I wrote some stuff down, and we'll get to that in the bottom half of the hour. But in the last few years, whenever Democrats in my country, liberals in my country, want to attack Republicans and conservatives, you can get them at a gas station. That's okay. They've said, you see them filling up their tank, you get up in their face. Their families at a restaurant. Yep, go interrupt their meal. Too much at stake here in the country. Too much. Interrupt. It's been in the news. Every liberal defends it. Well, the stakes are high. Our country's important. You have to go get in those conservatives and Republicans' faces anywhere you can. There's no limits. They went to the Supreme Court's homes, the justices' homes, where they lived with their family. And they said, well, we're sorry we have to come here and terrorize your family and terrorize your neighborhood, but there's no limits when we're trying to do the right thing here. When we have an agenda, you get no privacy. All right? Keep that in mind, and I'm sure many of you have heard that over the past couple years. And it's 99.9% been conservative Republicans who've been getting the short end of the stick on that. All right? So let me show you another one. Here it is. Look at that. Hundreds of pro-Palestinian protesters descend on Biden's home. Oh my God, the backlash that it created from people screaming and yelling, you should not be at their home. That is a private residence, man. Like Lebowski said, hey, man, this is a private residence. That's a nice pull, right? Yeah. They didn't like that at all. All of a sudden, You can't go to someone's house. Hey, if you want to protest, out in the streets of New York City or Washington, D.C., that's okay, man. But you can't bother people in their private life, man. They got to have some time to themselves. Why? You guys didn't care. Pot calling the kettle black, shoes on the other foot, whatever you want to call it. You guys are hypocrites. I mean, we've already known that, but here's your blatant hypocrites. It's okay to go to a Supreme Court justice house, but you can't go to the president's house. You can interrupt at a gas station, but you can't be on a sidewalk outside of someone's house. They didn't walk inside the house yet. I'm just letting you know the differences. I'm just pointing it out, man. That's the things they say and do. And they went right after Biden's house. And there was just a couple hundred. Wait till there's 1,000. Wait till there's 10,000. And remember, in my country, I'm talking to the whole world right now. Remember, in my country, the liberal Democrats want to support Israel. Our position, our country, our flag, our honor has always been to support Israel. It's what we're supposed to do. It's the right thing to do. But remember, liberal Democrats, their big thing is to always support the minority. Not race, minority group. It can be a group of, janitors. If the janitors are the minority group, they're a group of janitors, then they support the minority. They support and right now, they're having a hard time. They're tearing themselves apart. Do we do the right thing? Or do we pretend we're going to support Palestinians who kill women and children? What are we going to do here? They're torn. They know what they've got to do, but here's what they want to do. And they want to do this. They want to support the Palestinians. They want to support Hamas. They want to do it and keep their base happy and keep the fringe left happy. They know they should be supporting Israel up here. They want to do this and only be seen by these people. They want to do this publicly where the country can see them. They're having a real hard time right now being two-faced, and they're very good at it. They've been doing that for 4 decades. They're the most two-faced motherfuckers I've ever seen in my goddamn life. They are. But right now, the pro-Palestinian movement is so vocal and so out there every single day. They're having a hard time playing both sides of the coin. It's really tough on them. Just so you know, pointing that out as we move along. So let me close that one out. I like this one. I like this story that came out. There's a bunch of people, just regular Americans, just regular average Americans, just a bunch of jabronis like you and me. And you know what they're doing? They're out there gathering up. Now, you know what? We're going to help Israel. We're going to pull some stuff together, and you can find story after story after story of regular Americans grouping together and going, we're going to send some stuff over there to Israel. Do you know what you can't find? You can't find regular, traditional working Americans that are like, you know what? After I get done working here at the mill today, I'm going to put my stuff together and send it to Hamas. I wonder why you don't see that. I mean, if all of you pro-Palestinians are right and we're all wrong, if what you're doing is right, and Hamas is right, and Hezbollah is right, and killing Jews is okay, why is nobody sending you guys any support? Why is nobody going, you know what, when I get off work today, I'm going to get together some shoe stuff and send it over to Hamas, make sure they know we're thinking of them? Nobody's doing that. Not one person. You know, one of the dumbest things I saw, I've been watching the protesting, and what I watch in the protesting is I try to look for the individual microphone, the guy or girl who comes up and starts asking questions. And it's like, well, and this was the classic line. They've all spread the answer now, because in the beginning it's like, well, you know, what do you think about Hamas killing women, killing babies, and invading Israel? They had a real tough time. Their standard answer for the first, 30 days or so was, well, you just, it's been wars going on for years, and they hate us, we hate them, and so, the time came to just handle some business. And you're like, yeah, but everything was kind of quiet, everything was kind of peaceful, and no, you guys were launching missiles, but I mean, it was pretty calm. Everybody wasn't, there was no war. Well, but there comes a time when you have to look through history, and you get this jumbled mess. they were losing that argument badly, because along with it was, we want a ceasefire. Oh, yeah? Well, then I guess you shouldn't have started shit. Well, if you look back through history, so here they go again. They've changed it now. And this is the part I found super interesting, because it happened a bunch of times on a bunch of channels, on a bunch of different places on the internet with a different reporters. So I know they're spreading the word. When they get asked the question now, well, what do you grab the microphone? What do you think about Hamas going into Israel and killing women and children? Here's what they say now. I can't answer that question. You're not going to understand the answer. And I'm not going to answer a question that you're just not going to understand it when I say. I could tell you what's going on, but you won't get it. You do not understand the answer, so I'm not even going to give it. I'm not making that up. That is now what they're saying. And every reporter said, well, just try me. Just say, no. You're not gonna trick me into telling you why it was okay for Hamas to go into Israel and kill people, because you're not gonna get the answer, man. You're not gonna understand. So why even bother? Why even bother telling you? One reporter said, well, why even bother be out here protesting? Usually a protest is to get people motivated, inform them of what's going on so you can affect some change. How are you going to affect anything going on if you won't answer questions? You're just out here screaming and yelling. The person walked away going, you just don't get it, man. You're never going to get it. You're never going to understand. And the guy says, so am I just supposed to blindly go along? Yes, I think you should just trust me on this one. You're not going to ever understand. Click the channel, same answer. Click the channel, same answer. Scrolling through some reels and TikTok, some shorts, you come across those ones, same answer. It is now being flooded out there. Just tell them, if they ask you, if they corner you on why Hezbollah and Hamas are fucking this whole thing up, just tell them they're not smart enough, tell them they're not smart enough to know the answer. We could answer it. We got the answer, but just tell them they're not smart enough to get it. So we don't have to answer. Okay? 1, 2, 3, I was going to say 1, 2, 3. I hate Israel on 3, but I don't hate Israel. I didn't want to say the words. But that's what they do. They break from the huddle and they go out there. Now they've got a new catchphrase, and it's a true thing. I hate seeing it, because you can't. How do you argue with someone who says, I don't want to discuss it with you? You can hear my side, okay? But I don't want to hear your reply, because you're not going to get it. All right? So you're just going to hear what I say. Don't ask me any questions. Don't ask me to explain myself, because I can't go any further than that. You're just not smart enough to understand. Frustrates the shit out of me, to say the least. But anyway, the point of that story was, there's not regular Americans just gathering together on a Sunday afternoon and sending stuff over to Hamas. Man, pay attention to that. Here's the other one that just hit a couple days back. Harvard was put on notice. 1,600 alumni says, fix it or we're out of here. 1,600 alumni that donate their time, their money, and their resources are telling Harvard, yeah, you're on your own. And they're not just going to walk away. They're going to make this a mess for Harvard. They're going to clean up your act. They're telling them, I told you there was a division here that is not going away. No one's backing down. All right, let's go to the lighthearted side. I know we see a lot of stuff on the internet about old school, and one of the ones that came across my desk the other day was, how much time do you spend outside as a kid? So this is a picture probably from I'm going to guess 60 or so. Right in there. Car looks like it's a 1954 or 55. So assuming it wasn't brand new, plus that house across the street looks like a house that was built in the early 60s in the San Fernando Valley. Could have been anywhere, but it almost looks like the valley to me. I can tell by the hills in the back, even though they're faint. Anyway, just wanted you guys to know that the reason they make these memes, these GIFs, these pictures, these images where they mess with everybody is because they're teasing that kids don't do stuff. Well, let me just show you. I ran across this picture. That's the neighborhood I live in. That's actually my street. It's a couple years back, but that's my street. And kids and ice cream trucks and summer. There's women pushing babies down the street in the morning. There's people that go for walks every morning. It's a regular middle class neighborhood, and that right there is. Can you tell which one is Gen Z kid? He's he's the one all the way on the left that looks like a girl because of his haircut, but he's also the only one who looks badass. Everyone else is like, teeter-totted. Not my son. My son looks cool. So anyway, they just let you guys know that, yeah, I could put that picture up with the other one that says, yeah, there parents like my wife and I we still push and promote getting out in the world. It's not all just staying inside. It's a true story. All right, so let me go back between the sheets and read some stuff. I'm probably way behind. All right. Angus MacGyver, baseball. I have no idea what that answer. Was there a question that the answer was baseball? Angus MacGyver, baseball. Okay. Angus MacGyver, hockey. I guess it's a game we'll play. Deepak, remember for 1 year, imagine if you replaced with new black. Well, then they would be an up. Imagine if you replaced Deepak. Imagine if you replaced new with black. Wow. They would be new with black. New what? What we say new? New York? I don't know. You lost me on that one. There needs to be more context there. Jane Mott's been for 2 months. There would be an outrage if it was against any other minority group. It's not okay at all. Violence against anyone is unacceptable. Yeah, see, Jane, that's what I was talking about. They riot in D.C. and they can single somebody out. Never been able to do that before. Those people could not have done that before. If that same 300,000 people screamed that they don't like people from Poland, they'd have been in trouble. But apparently being Jewish, you're just an open target, and it's okay. Doug Nilner thought the minorities were protected. Yeah, well, see, this is the problem. In the grand scheme of things, this looks like two minorities. Jews are a minority, and Hamas is a minority. Now you got to pick sides. Just like in the World Series, you got to pick a team to win. Well, that's what they're doing right now. Who is that? That is Kat Diamond. Why do we negotiate with terrorists nowadays? I know. Used to be a hard rule. Why do we put up with these violent people? Because we're idiots. When I was growing up, I know this is a sidetrack, Kat, because you brought it up. I'll say it. When I was growing up, there was a kind of a running joke about Russia in Cold War, but they said, you know, we had, in the United States and Europe, we had hijackings. We had plane hijackings. You're going to drive me here, and you're going to take me there, and you're going to fly me with this. And they had demands. We talked to them. We gave in to demands. We filled up plane. We did stuff. And someone said, why is there never any plane hijackings in Russia? Because I guess at the time there was none or one, so it didn't matter. And this happened to the Western world all the time. And the running joke was that because Russia don't play, they're just like, okay, we're going to fucking blow up the plane with you on it. And yes, we'll kill everybody on board. So you're not getting shit. We're going to blow you up and the plane and the people. Sorry about your luck, but you're not getting shit. That was the mantra that was pounded into us in the 80s. And it's like, well, that's right. There's Russia you never hear about a Russian airplane being hijacked. It's because they were very tough. And they said, we don't give a shit. Fuck you. You're not getting anything. I'm not saying we should blow up airplanes and kill innocent civilians that have bought tickets to Tahiti. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that when you do have a hard stance, it's not as much of an opportunity to be a terrorist anymore, is it? I'm just saying. But what do I know? I'm just a dumb mechanic in the middle of the desert. Black Rose, it's like here in Quebec, we have to watch the politicians in both English and French because there's no more words there there it is. Because these politicians say two different versions of a story and policies. Really? I couldn't do that. I'm having a hard trouble watching 4 stations. And now you're coming along, Black Rose is saying you got to watch things in 2 languages because they tell the 2 different versions of the same story in 2 languages. Oh, thank you. No, I couldn't do it. I couldn't walk around with Google Translate everywhere I go trying to get no. But that's amazing that they know they can get away with that with 2 different languages, and they can tell whatever story fits the narrative of that. Wow. I would have never thought of that. That's going to stick in my mind forever. Thank you for telling me that. I did not know that about up in Canada, and I love you guys up there, but that's insane to me. That gave me pause. Like, I want to shut the show off right now and go think about that. How could you? I mean, it's one thing to have, back in the day before there was internet, not much TV, politicians used to do what's called whistle stops. They'd get on the back of trains in my country and they'd pull into a town. They'd go to the back of the train. Everybody gathered around. They'd give their political speech. They'd go to the next town, go to the back of the train. Everybody gathered around, give their political speech. And we've learned over the years from reporters that were listening and writing down what they said, they would tell a different story wherever they were because no one knew the difference anyway. They could say in here, we're preserving all of the forest we can, and we love you, forest people. Then they go to the next one and go, the forest sucks. It's the plains that we love. We love the plains. Then they get back east. We love the coal. We don't like the forest. We don't like the plains. We love the coal industry. They got away with that because there was no internet, no TV, and you just whistle stop. You stop the train and tell a different story. I got the idea of that, but I thought that was all done away with. You're telling me that they could speak in two languages? I wouldn't know if they tell me what their position is in English. I'm thinking that's it. Now you're telling me I got to go listen in French to see if they're full of shit? I can't tell you how much that bothers me. My God. Daniel, his middle name's also Dan D. Daniel. Gavin Newsom will be the Dem nominee for 2024. It's possible. It is. As much as I would hate for Newsom to do that and run the country, I'd very much like him getting the fuck out of here. But what do I know? Chai till I die, or Chi till I die. Remember, for 6 months, I don't hear anything about Ukraine anymore. It's all Israel. Yeah, it's almost like that war is on recess right now, and everyone's just hanging out, but it's not. It's a big thing. Darkwing, why aren't Republicans including Israel aid in their spending package? Well, the first spending package, they actually cut out all the Ukrainian money and sent the Israeli package over to the Senate. The second one, they're not including any money for anybody, and maybe they might tuck some in for Ukraine. But this bill that's coming up is to fund our country. This is something they're supposed to put in there to fund our country. Has nothing to do with foreign aid. Now, if there's somebody sneaking something in about Ukraine, I guess because we left it out of the other one, but that's what the point is. There shouldn't be any overseas spending right now at all. And when they're talking about funding the government. Vern Ulrich, can someone tell me why America has to be the world's babysitter? The Holy War has been going on long before 1776. Yeah, I know. It's an easy question and a tough question. The easy part is because you want to stand up for what's right, and you want to stand up for a faith and a belief. The hard part is, well, why are you sticking up for them and not those guys over there? Why is Israel the main thing? Save Israel, protect Israel at all cost. There's other people that need protecting at all costs too. It's a long drawn out thing. I don't even have an answer. I have not drank enough alcohol to give you an answer in the manner you deserve, Vern. I'd love to, but I can't do it right now. All right, what's this one? Verona, they're only asking for a ceasefire because Israel is pounding the shit out of Hamas. If it were the other way around, crickets, yeah. But the funny thing is they can't ask for a ceasefire. The Biden administration can't come in and ask for a ceasefire, so they have to look like they're doing something. That Biden's doing this. Okay, all right, stop it. Leave me the fuck alone. I'll push a ceasefire. Stop screaming at me. Hey, Netanyahu, how about I know you won't go for a total ceasefire here, but could we get like 4 hours, like in the middle of the day, maybe, like you guys could just stop for a minute? That'd really be great. And then Netanyahu's like, yeah, fuck it. We need to take a break anyway, reload our ammunition, grab some lunch. So yeah, we'll give you 4 hours. Then Biden goes back. Okay, all right. I got them to stand down for 4 hours. So that's a start. That's a start. And here we go. This is the give and take of how this is all going to go. Because Biden, the administration doesn't really want to do this. They really are 100% behind Israel. Our country is. But they have those fringe nut jobs, and those people vote. They need them out there. We're in an election year now. Well, after November 7th we are. Trippy Pineapple, meant for 1 year. Hydrate. All right. TDP says hydrate. There we go. Michelle M. member for 6 months, gifted 5 Gen X Talks memberships. Cora Davis, Mike Gaston, Linda. Instead of Linda, it's Linda. Ashley and B.A. You guys are all now in green. You can take a peek behind the curtain in the community section after the show's over. Becca Rowland, member for 1 month. Anyone hear about renaming of the Army bases? They doing that again? If I haven't heard the latest round of that, but they had a big big argument I saw. It was about the statues again, pulling down the statues, and they said, "Oh, we gotta get rid of every Robert E. Lee statue." And then somebody actually brought up Robert E. Lee. They brought up all the prominent figures that were in the military and in politics of the South, and half of them didn't even own slaves, didn't have anything to do with slaves, and you're offended by them because you're going to take down their statue, and then when you do the homework on them, specific statues, you guys never had anything to do with slaves, and yet the people in the North are always celebrated, and there was a ton of Democrats in the North that were pro-slavery and fought to keep slavery. And you guys, there's statues of those fuckers up. Hypocrisy abounds, I'm telling you. Doug Dillner, hey, gentlemen, did you get my dream email week? Dream email I sent you last week. I might have. I'm a little bit behind on my emails. I might have skimmed through them, but I got a bunch I got to go through. I'll catch up on it. Bearded Barber T, remember, for 2 months, have you seen the video of the kid who died of his injuries getting jumped by 15 other kids outside of high school in Nevada? No, that's one that escaped me. I saw a bunch of other ones, though. God, we get in that forever, but we're going to run out of time here. Black Roses, hi, handsome general. I didn't write my A quiz list last Thursday because I was terrified that because there was a violent confrontation the day before. Let me read that again. Hi, handsome general. I didn't write my ancient Greek quiz last Thursday because I was terrified there was a violent confrontation the day before. Well, I think sometimes you have to know when to pull back, and sometimes you have to know when to stand your ground. Gretchen J, new member, welcome to being an extra. Thank you, Gretchen, for showing up. Member for 2 months is Bearded Barber again. Reaction to Vivek roasting the RNC mainstream media. You know, they're all doing that. They're rolling up on the Republican National Committee, and they're pushing them about the way the media and the conventions are handling, especially the poll forums and stuff. They're telling them that you can't be part of it. You can be part of it. The questions are pulled down, and they're doing this just to support Trump. They say they say their own version with the media and the RNC is pro-Trump, and so they're squashing the debates, they're squashing the polling, they're squashing the questions, and pushing everything to one side. You know what? I got to tell you, I think he's got a little bit of a point there. I wish it was a little more open, but there's so many people on the right in the Republican Party that just are like, look, Trump should be the nominee. Let's quit fucking around. So they're doing what the left does. They're kind of sliding everything in one direction. I think Trump could win on his own merits and to become the nominee. I think he could debate. He could survive the polling. He doesn't need. I think you taint the election when you nominate a person, and a lot of people can say, well, he wouldn't even have been the nominee if it weren't for those guys slanting things in his favor. I'm just saying, that's my opinion. Chai till I die, man, for 6 months. The immigrants in Chicago want to go home because it's too cold here. Yeah, I was just sent that story. They're going back to Venezuela. The immigrants in Chicago go back to Venezuela because it's too cold, and nobody's giving them resources. Nobody's giving them jobs. Nobody's giving them housing. Nobody's just saying, hey, welcome to America. Here's your house. Here's your car keys. Here's a job. Here's some extra money. Have a good time. It's not happening. The greatest thing that Texas did was start sending all of these migrants to sanctuary cities and overloading the sanctuary cities to the point where the mayors are going, yeah, we don't give a shit if you go home. Don't come here anymore. Wow. What happened to we accept everyone? We love everyone. Oh, it's fine for Texas to run out of resources. It's fine for Texas to be overcrowded. Then you blame them. Well, you guys just don't care. All right. Well, what's your excuse, asshole? Now we're sending everything to New York. We're sending everything to Chicago. We're sending everything to D.C. Now we're sending them all up there in busloads and busloads and busloads, and you can't handle it. Now, are you just as uncaring as Texas? Or is this just a legitimate problem that we all have to solve together, and you're finally admitting it? Yes, migrants are going home. All right. I got to stop there. I'm never going to do anything except read the sheet. So let me go back to some stuff in here I want to talk to you about. Bum, 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 bum. If you do, 4 hours, everything's going up. Did I find that thing in there? Oh, yeah, I did. I finally got you guys sent me. It's in the background on one of these sides. The Hans Gruber falling down Nakatomi Plaza. That is our advent calendar now for Christmas. The countdown to Christmas when December 1st starts. And when Hans Gruber hits the bottom, Christmas Day has arrived. So I love you guys for sending. I got a couple of those. I put one up in here. I got one in the house. That, they're not super expensive. But the fact that you guys took time to track one down, go through the motions of purchasing it with your money. I don't deserve anything you guys give me, so thank you guys for doing that. And on the bottom of the Glass Nation show, we'll talk about who gave me what. I also got the Green Label Jack Daniels, which I'm not going to drink, because one of you says they don't make it anymore, so I'm not even going to open it. That'll be on display here in the studio, too. And that's my wife's cornbread that I love so much. I thought I'd tell you that. So we'll talk about names of people who sent me stuff. And one of my favorite items that I've been doing a lot of homework on is this baseball. We'll talk about that real soon, too. But you guys, we'll get to that. This isn't a shout-out day for that kind of stuff. So talk about that. We talk about that. Ribbons and Pre, new podcast. I'm not gonna do it there. This is just craziness. Coast Guard lunch. Screws no land by 7. All right, so where is it? Coming up here. I gotta find it real quick. It's coming up. But I do have it written down over here. I'll just do it from the notes I have written here. Okay. So let's go back to here. This is from around the world. Before we run out of time, I think this is important, because we talked about the hypocrisy and the stupidity of the United States, which we're full of it. We have a plethora of things like that go along in my country. But I want to read you some things I discovered. In certain parts of India, a man can offer up his wife as repayment of his debts. Did you hear that? In certain parts of India, a man can offer up his wife as repayments of his debts. Now, the first thing that comes to mind is, what if she can't do anything? What if she can't cook and she can't clean and she's ugly? How many debts can she really repay? That's my first thought. My second one is, in certain parts of India, a man can offer up his wife as repayments for his debts. There is a whole section in Pornhub dedicated to that very topic. Just letting you guys know. So I've heard. I've been told. In Hong Kong, a wife is legally entitled to kill her husband with her bare hands, and only her bare hands, if she catches him cheating. I think that's a little severe. She can kill it, but what if she can't kill him with his bare hand? Like, what if the guy is substantially bigger and stronger and more aggressive? Does that mean he can just get away with cheating because she can't use a knife, she can't use a gun? I'm just bringing it up here. These are topics from around the world. That's India. That's Hong Kong. That's on you guys. You guys don't want to be made fun of. Change your laws. Meanwhile, in Samoa, it's illegal for you to forget your wife's birthday. In my country, Hallmark would make you feel the same way. There's a company called Hallmark here that absolutely would agree with you. It is illegal to forget your wife's birthday. And just speaking from personal experience in my own household, it may not be illegal, but you are going to feel you are under a life sentence punishment if you forget your wife's birthday, or my wife's birthday in my house. Just letting you know that's a thing that goes on here. That's just not in Samoa. I think around the world, men get the shit kicked out of them for that one. Now, there's another one. If you cheat on a final exam and are over the age of 15, you can be jailed in Bangladesh. Now, it doesn't say you had to cheat on the test in Bangladesh. It did it. It said if you cheat in a final exam and you're over the age of 15, you can be jailed in Bangladesh. What if you're in France? What if they catch a French kid, 16 years old, cheating on a test? Oh, sorry, dude, you're going to Bangladesh. That's all it says. Now, if that's a law in Bangladesh, I get it. But if that's a world law, wow, Bangladesh is going to have some pretty big prisons. I'm just saying. In Switzerland, it's illegal to flush a toilet or for a man to urinate standing up after 10 p.m. Okay, I guess it's noise. You can't flush a toilet after 10 because maybe housing and apartments and hotels, they're so thin, the walls and stuff like that, you can hear it. And I do understand that a man standing up urinating can create quite an echoing sound as the urine hits the toilet bowl and it echoes. I personally don't have that issue as my Johnson is so long, it's so close to the water, it barely has time to make any sound at all. But, maybe in Switzerland, if their Johnsons, their rods are kind of short, you get a big, long arch of a big stream. Yeah, get some distance, and it probably echoes when it hits. Waterfalls aren't that loud when they're right close to the pond, are they? I'm just saying. I'm just talking. Hey, I'm just a dumb burjoni in the middle of the desert. I'm trying to talk logic here, man. Common sense. When I read these things, common sense stuff comes to mind. All right. I got through most of them without laughing. If you masturbate in Indonesia and get caught, a popular myth is that you'll get beheaded. According to Indonesian officials, the punishment isn't so severe. Bludgeoning the beefsteak in public can get you a maximum of 32 months in jail. I don't even know why I wrote that one down. In New York, in the city of York, Britain, not New York, in the city of York, Britain, if a Scotsman is carrying a bow and arrow, you're allowed to murder him within the ancient city walls. Now, I'm not saying that a lot of Scotsmen would be just arbitrarily carrying a bow and arrow, but man, Scottish people can drink. They know how to drink. They do some fucked up shit. What if a dude's just walking down you can murder him. You can kill him. If he's Scottish, didn't say how much Scottish. What if he's 1/64th Scottish, like Elizabeth Warren? 1/64. I mean, if you kill the guy, they're going to have to run a DNA test and find out if he had any Scottish lineage, and then you're off the hook. You don't get in trouble. You guys wrote this stuff. Also, the next time you take the internet for granted, I want you to think of this. In Burma, anyone found in possession of a modem can be imprisoned. If you even have a modem, they do not want you on the internet at all. I would just be telling the judge, look, I was trying to look up the law about the modem. I used my modem to check on the law about the modem. I was trying to comply, but I had to be clear on what law that I was, I wanted to be clear on that. Anyway. All right, I'll put the book of lies away for now, and we'll read some more of the sheets real quick if there's anything left, and then we'll E. Ross $1.99 says, I love you, General, and your channel. It's the kids' channel, but thank you very much. Mrs. 4 Watton, member for 1 year, gifted 5 Gen X Talks memberships. Morgie, Lynn, Cricket, Lindstad, Tom Kowalski. Hey, Tom Kowalski, man, that's a name I haven't heard in a while. Daniel Jenkins, Jenna Lily H. Black Rosa says, yes, General, that happens all the time. The current government has passed language laws. If you want, I can give you the Cole study notes. Yeah, send that to me. GenXDad@GenXTalks.com. Appreciate that. I'd like to go through that and see it. Back a rolling member for 1 month. They have officially named, they have renamed Fort Hood as of Tuesday. Fort Cavazos? What's wrong with Fort Hood? Who's Cavazos? Better be a local thing. Cat Diamond. They just renamed a street in Florida from Stonewall Jackson to Roberto Clemente. Who makes these decisions? I don't know. Why did they have to rename it? They couldn't have just had another street called Roberto Clemente? I mean, you get the Roberto Clemente Award every year in baseball. Listen, I got to go, you guys. We did talk on some stuff. We didn't solve too many of the mysteries of the universe, but let's face it, none of us were drinking. Everybody except Deepak, who was drinking from the moment the show started. He's probably 11 pints in by now. He does more than one every 10 minutes. But I thank you guys for tuning in and showing up. I know I'm just about out of time. I wanted to cover some more stuff, but there just isn't enough time to do it. Thank you guys for it's a lighthearted show. Welcome to Monday. Eases you into the week. We'll get a little more serious as the week goes on. Then Friday, we'll hit you real heavy with some hard-hitting behind-the-scenes stuff about Israel and Hamas. Yep, I made a couple phone calls. There's some stuff going on. Waiting for some more answers on things. That's why I didn't bring it up today. But I really appreciate you guys tuning in. If you had an hour of your time to waste, what better place to waste than here with Gen X Talks? Anyway, I got to go. If you just remember a couple things, wherever you're listening from around this planet, AM, FM, Sirius XM, or maybe you're tuning in on the Armed Service Radio Network. We appreciate you guys a ton. 2 things to remember. Wherever you go, there you are. And I'll catch you guys on the flip side. That's right. See you Friday.